Hey everybody, Jamie with Unleashed Omaha. Today I just want to do a video today on the different types of training and how we use those in order to condition our dogs. So with anything in life, dog training, new jobs, personal training, whatever, there are different ways of conditioning yourself. So there's classic conditioning. Ivan Pavlov did some experiments with some dogs where he noticed he could pair a ringing of a bell with food, an unconditioned response, which was the bell ring, or unconditioned stimuli, which was the bell ringing, paired with the unconditioned stimulus of food dropping. Over time, the unconditioned response of a bell became conditioned to basically you had the bell dropping signified that food was coming, and a result of that was a conditioned response of salivating. The dogs would hear the bell, they would salivate because they expected food was coming. So that's kind of the same thing that we do with marker training, is we pair the word yes with food, and a lot of the times we do this in our doorways while we're doing like thresholds and things like that. And you can look at the thresholds video to see how I start that. And so over a number of repetitions, the dogs will literally hear the word yes, and here, as you saw, Dakota and Nico and everybody kind of snapped their heads around when I said the word means food is coming. Okay, so this gives me a very valuable tool. It gives me an opportunity to mark a moment in time, marker training, mark a moment in time to signify to the dog, hey, I like what you're doing, and now you're going to get rewarded for it. In the beginning, you say the word yes, and the dog doesn't give a crap, because it's not conditioned. It's an unconditioned stimulus. The word yes has no meaning at that point. So, but over time, over 50 to 150 to 250 repetitions, you start to get the dog realize if you say yes with food every single time, they start to go, oh, I know food is coming. Now you have a conditioned stimulus with a conditioned response of salivating. The dog's like, oh my God, I know food is coming. Sweet. Now we can use operant conditioning. So operant conditioning has 4 different quadrants. It has positive reinforcement, positive punishment, negative reinforcement, and negative punishment. Now, positive and negative do not necessarily mean good or bad. Positive simply means you're adding something to the equation. Negative means you're taking away. And reinforcement doesn't necessarily mean good, and punishment means bad. Nico, come here, babe. Come here. Reinforcement simply means something that you're doing to increase the likelihood of a behavior repeating itself. Punishment is something that we do to decrease the likelihood of a behavior repeating itself. So, positive and negative punishment, positive and negative reinforcement. Positive reinforcement, an example would be adding food, toy, or praise to a situation to increase the likelihood of my dog repeating behavior. My dog puts a butt on the ground, I say the word yes, I give my dog food. I pair that a number of times. Now my dog understands that it is the putting on the butt on the ground derives the food. So I'm increasing the likelihood of my dog sitting by offering him food every time he does it. Okay? Negative reinforcement, leash pressure. I give upwards pressure, my dog sits. Pressure goes away. Upwards pressure, dog sits, pressure goes away. I'm taking away something that the dog finds slightly unenjoyable to increase the likelihood of that behavior repeating itself. Negative reinforcement. Negative punishment, taking something away from the dog, so taking that opportunity away of reward. So I pull back food, or I pull back toy, or I pull back my hands for praise. If they do something that I don't like, I take that opportunity for reward away from them to decrease the likelihood of them repeating that behavior. So if my dog is sitting and I start petting my dog and they get up, I take away my hand and that dog goes, huh. And then they sit and then I start reinforcing that. My dog learns through negative punishment. I took away something he likes when he stood up. And then when he sat back down, I came back with positive reinforcement. Gave him added something, gave him something to increase the likelihood of him sitting. Okay? So positive and negative punishment, positive and negative reinforcement. 4 tools that we use. I use positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, and negative punishment as much as possible when I'm starting to train new behaviors. And then once I've taught the dog the new behavior around no distractions at first, that's the beginning teaching phase, no distractions. Once my dog starts to offer the behavior to me, now I take it to a new level. Now you not only have to sit, but now I'm going to toss a piece of food 2-3 feet away, or a toy 2-3 feet away, or multiple things. So you have to sit while I'm petting you, okay, or praising you. You know, if you get overly excited and you get out of your sit, all that goes away, okay. Once my dog starts to understand that, then I'll start to work my dog around other things like food on the ground, toys on the ground, whatever they find motivating, whatever they find something that they like. I'll start working the dog around that to make them understand that when we're working, we're working. And so then the dog starts to ignore or be desensitized to these distractions, which is what I want. Once I have that, I start putting my dog in a long line and I start working them at a distance, and I start increasing my distance in between me and my dog for each command that we're working on. And eventually I'll take a long line, I'll have it on the dog, and I'll actually go around the corner of a building. If my dog fails, it's not a big deal, we just set the situation up again. But if they do it well, then I tell them yes, and I give them food. So we have the communication system of yes, you've done something correctly, you're free to get up from your position and come to me and access your reward. We also have the word good. So if my dog's doing something well that I like, laying down, relaxing next to me, I can say good. Feeding them. Good. Feeding them. Now good is not a release. If my dog is in a down, if my dog is in a down, I say good. Good. If he gets up out of the down, I take away that opportunity to reward. You must stay in the down position. Nope. Sit up, buddy. Come here, buddy. Hey, come here. Come here. You must stay in that position in order to continue to access your reward. If you get out of that, when I say good, if you're in a sit and I tell you good, and you get out of your sit, that opportunity for reward goes away. So my good, I can reward them in place, and I can communicate to my dog, you're doing what I want you to do. Continue doing that. No, come here. Come on. Continue doing that, and I'm going to reward you with yes. Okay? So, and then we also have nope, which is our negative reward marker. Telling our dog, you're incorrect, you've done something incorrect. We're not punishing the dog at this point. We're just simply telling him, nope, you've done something incorrect, try again. Try something different. So between yes, good, and nope, I have this communication system set up with my dog so they understand what it is that I'm looking for. Now, dogs work for 3 different things. They work for food, toy, and praise, and they also work to avoid punishment. Okay? Those are the 4 main things, pretty much about the only things that the dogs are going to work for and also work to avoid. So, just like you or I, we get a new job, we're out of high school, we have our associate's degree, we have a college degree, whatever, and now we're going to hit the work scene. We get through our first interview, we get our job, and we get in there, and we are scared to death. We're like, oh crap, I have this new job, I don't know what I'm doing, I have no clue. No, come on now. I have no clue what I'm doing. So you need conditioning, you need training. So if I go in there, the first day you come into training and I go, if you don't do your job right, you're fired. I am probably not going to try multiple things at my new job. I'm probably going to just be very still and do the kind of minimum to not get myself fired. So that, in a sense, is not very motivating. You're not going to get a person to go out and try new things because they're worried that they're going to lose their job. But if I go out and say, hey, you know, like, we go out and we start motivating people. We say, some people are motivated by money, some people are motivated by toys, some people are like boats and things like that, trips, whatever. Some people are motivated by praise. Hey, good job at work today. You did a great job. Really love you here. You're an asset to the team. We really appreciate your work. And somebody's like, yes. I'm like, I'm appreciated. I love my boss. He's so nice to me and such a good guy. You know, so praise, money, trips are all motivating factors. Now, if you want an employee to chew through walls for you, then motivation is the way to go, because they're going to be like, I'm a part of this. My boss loves me. My boss thinks I'm awesome. They tell me all the time. They give me money. They give me raises. They give me trips. Now I got this person who literally eat through walls for me because I set them up to be motivated, which is the greatest system. It's so fantastic, and I highly recommend that any and all employee-employee relationships are that way. Eventually, once you're trained, then you do have that option of being fired. So now we balance it out. Do your job, you get money, you get praise, and you get trips. You mess up, you're going to get a write-up. You get 3 write-ups, you're fired. So it's balance, right? You can't go to work and do your job and, you know, continue to mess up over and over and over again, even though your boss tells you you've done something incorrectly. Once you've been trained on that, once you know, hey, there's no inter-office relationships. That is a criminal offense. If you sleep with somebody in your office, you will be fired. Then you can't even make that mistake once. It's been established. But you have to inform them. So the same thing with the dogs. We have to inform them what the rules are. Sit means butt on the ground, regardless of distraction, regardless of environment, regardless of people, kids, toys, food, whatever. If you're told to sit, butts on the ground until you're released or told another command. Same thing with all our commands. But we have to really generalize it. We have to bring it to multiple environments. We have to work at multiple distances between us and our dogs. And we have to generalize the behavior before we can bring that element of punishment in, positive punishment, the correction. If we don't take the time to show our dog exactly what we want, then it's not fair for us to use punishment. So, when you see me doing these videos, yeah, they're the starting points, they're the beginning points, but it's up to you as an owner to see what your dog is confused on. If your dog sits for you in an empty house, but then somebody comes in and you are nothing but chopped liver to them, they don't care anymore, you have not taken that opportunity to show them that sit means sit. I don't care if company arrives and comes in. You have to show them any and all circumstances before you bring in punishment. So, motivate your dogs. Motivate them through food, through toy, through relationship, through praise, and showing them, I am here to guide you, train you, condition you, and show you every last inch every last nook, every last cranny of dog training. And then once we practice, we start to add conflict, we start to add other people, we start to add other things, food, toy, kids running around, distractions, and our dog works through those, understands them, shows us they've understood them, been rewarded for multiple repetitions. Then we can start dialing back the reward. So in the beginning, we reward everything, every single rep. Sit, yes, food every single time. That's called a continuous reward schedule. Okay? Once our dog has shown us, because we brought it to multiple environments and we've taught them under lots of different parameters of what is expected, then we move to what is called a variable schedule. Variable schedule is now you get rewarded every other time. I say yes, you get food. The next time I say yes, no food. The next time I say yes, food. The next time I say yes, no food. Every other time I reward the dog when I say yes. Okay? Now most people would think that this would cut the drive in half. It doesn't. It does the exact opposite. It actually doubles the drive of the dog. The dog is now like, man, what was I doing differently the first time that I didn't do the second time? Same thing with the third time, the fourth time. The dog starts fine-tuning. He really freaking focuses, really engages in the work. Okay? Then I go to every third. Yes, food. Yes, no food. Yes, no food. Yes, food. Yes, no food. Yes, no food. So I'll reward my dog. He sits, I say yes, I give him food. He sits, I say yes, I give him no food. He sits, I say yes, I give him no food. He sits, I say yes, I give him food. Every third time I give him food. Okay? That's what's called a variable schedule. And we do this until we start to see a really nice, it'll actually increase your performance of your dog, which is really cool. Then we go to what's called a random reward schedule. Okay? After our dog has gone through the variable stages of being rewarded every other rep, every third rep, now we start rewarding randomly. I'll reward 2 in a row. I'll reward with the word yes, but I won't give them any food, toy, or praise for like 4 or 5 in a row. Then I'll reward like 3 or 4 or 5 in a row. Yes, food, yes, food, yes, food, yes, food. And then I'll say yes, no food, yes, no food. Yes, food, yes, food. Yes, no food, no food, no food, no food, no food, no food. Yes, food. And now my dog does not know or does not anticipate when that next reward is coming. It jacks their drive through the roof. It's crazy how this dog will now really be working their asses off for you because they think that maybe this next time is the time that I get rewarded. Beautiful. You know, it's so cool to see that dog who, you know, was expecting a reward every single time. Now, the word yes is the actual reward. You don't have to give them food every single time. The word yes becomes the reward itself. And you get this beautiful picture. Now, the same thing goes for punishment. Or when I start adding pressure of an e-collar. When I start adding the pressure of an e-collar, and I start adding it to the work, the dog is sitting nicely, working really nicely for me, and I start laying over an e-collar. So I say the word sit, I tap the collar until my dog sits. When they sit, I stop tapping, I mark it yes, and I reward my dog. I say sit, I start tapping on my collar. The moment my dog sits, I say yes, and I reward. And I continue on with this until I say sit, tap, tap, dog sits. Sit, tap, tap, sit, tap. I tap it every frickin' time. Even if the dog sits. Every single time. Sit, tap, sit, tap, sit, tap. Okay? Down tap, place tap, whatever. I also do repetitions where I hold the pressure of the collar down on low levels. This is not high level stimulation. This is the lowest level that the dog feels, to the lowest level that the dog shows me that they understand or that they can feel the collar. I'll start the collar, I'll ask for sit. The moment they sit, I release the pressure of the collar. I hold down the collar, I say sit, I release the pressure of the collar the second that they turn around or that they put a sit. This goes the same thing for down. Hold the pressure of the collar, down, the moment my dog downs, off with the pressure. So we do pressure before and pressure after for every command. Sit, down, stand, come, heel, kennel, whatever. And I do both types of pressure every single time. My dog is performing flawlessly. My dog is sitting 90 out of 100 times, nailing it, nailing it, nailing it. Now I do the same thing with my my e-collar. I start sit, tap, sit, no tap, sit, tap, sit, no tap. I repeat that until I have this dog who's just nailing sits every single time. Then I will only tap every third time. Then I move to a variable tapping. So I might say sit, tap, sit, no tap, sit, no tap, sit, no tap, sit, tap, sit, tap, sit, tap, sit, no tap, sit, no tap, sit, no tap. And my dog starts to go, I automatically go into my sit or my down or whatever command we're working on, anticipating the pressure of the collar. And they start to beat the correction. They start to beat the pressure. And now I have a dog who automatically sits when I say sit, automatically downs when I say down, automatically places when I say place. I take it around multiple distractions, multiple environments with that pressure, and I teach that pressure in all these different solutions, all these different situations. My dog is performing flawlessly, recalling like a champ, sitting like a champ, all this stuff. Killing it. Plus we're rewarding it too, right? And we've had hundreds of repetitions. Once my dog understands how to shut the pressure of the collar off and is paired with the reward, you don't see this dog who shuts down to correction. You see this dog who tries harder, moves faster. And we start slowly dialing up on the collar. And now we, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. I don't want to get to that point to where that correction is shutting my dog down. Correction should make your dog faster. It should make your dog try harder. It should not, you shouldn't correct your dog and the dog goes, oh crap. Okay? Corrections should stop the behavior or decrease the likelihood of the behavior, like we said before. It should scare the crap out of your dog. Okay? If it's scaring the crap out of your dog, you're doing it wrong. Okay? So, classic conditioning, operant conditioning, the 4 quadrants of each of those. And now you have a pretty good idea on how you can train any single thing you want. Once you have it beautifully trained, you start layering over your pressure of your e-collar or your pinch collar or your flat collar or whatever your dog seems or whatever your dog works for. You start layering over that pressure. Now I have a dog that loves work, gets rewarded, avoids punishment, and has this beautiful level of communication. Yes, good, no. Responds to the command the first time, every time. You shouldn't be saying sit, 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 sit before your dog sits. Your dog is rehearsing, not listening to you. So don't name the damn thing until you have the dog offering the behavior for you. Then you start naming it. Then you can go forward. Then you bring in distraction. Then you bring in distance. Then you bring in control and fine-tuning. And once you have all that, then you bring in layering over of a pinch collar or an electric collar, and you work it in sight, you work it out of sight. You have this dog who sees all these different pictures with your back turned, with you facing the dog, on your left, on your right, from place. You have this beautiful, beautiful level of communication that your dog loves working. loves you and understands everything because you've taken the time to go through that manual with them. Your boss gives you a training manual, you're expected to read every single freaking line of that. If you skip over steps, in that training manual and you end up getting fired for it, whose fault is that? You didn't take the time to properly condition yourself or know the rules. Okay? So don't punish the dog for stuff that you haven't taken the time to teach them. Okay? Punishment should increase motivation, should increase that dog's level of commitment. It should also decrease their repeating of mistakes. If your punishment is not stopping the behavior and decreasing the likelihood of that happening, you're doing it wrong. Okay? If you have any questions on this, I know it's a lot of psychology, a lot of information, but email me, Jamie, Jaime, at unleashedomaha.com, or you can message me on the Unleashed Omaha page, or you can dial me direct 402-965-1114, and we can set up an appointment for your dog and get those issues that you're facing taken care of. Okay? I love you guys. I can't wait to keep making videos. I'm loving this weather. I'm loving these videos. I love you guys. I love dog training. I love life. And life is good. And yeah, that's it. So get out there, train your dogs. Take them through the manual. It's your job as a boss and a trainer to do that. So get out there and do it. Love you guys. See you soon.